Kerry Emanuel, What We Know About Climate Change, Updated Edition, the MIT Press. Dive into the summary of the updated edition of What We Know About Climate Change by Kerry Emanuel, a respected resource on the potential consequences and complex influences of human activities on Earth's climate system. Find detailed insights into the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change's (IPCC) reported findings, and learn how greenhouse gases, climate noise, mitigation, adaptation, and geoengineering play a role in the ongoing debate on global warming. Explore the challenges facing our planet as we grapple with the ever-increasing effects of human activity on our climate, and uncover the roadblocks we must overcome as we strive to take meaningful action to protect our environment and future generations.
Climate change, a consensus among scientists. Climate scientists have reached a broad consensus that human activities are responsible for increasing greenhouse gas concentrations in the atmosphere, leading to potentially catastrophic consequences in terms of global warming. This is evidenced by hard-headed scientific research and verifiable data. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, issues periodic reports that summarize the current scientific knowledge about global warming, which most climate scientists do not dispute. These reports highlight that the average surface temperature of the Earth is about 1.2 of 0.67 C, hotter than it was from 1920 to 2010, and that greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide, methane, ozone, and nitrous oxide are increasing in the atmosphere due to human activity. Arctic sea ice has decreased by 15% to 20% since measurements began in 1978, while sea levels have risen by approximately 4 inches in the past 60 years. Moreover, the ocean has become approximately 30% more acidic since the industrial era began, endangering the aquatic food chain. If left unaddressed, gas emissions will lead to an increase of global mean temperature by 2.5 of to 9 of 1.39 OC to 5 OC during the next century, leading to a variety of hazardous consequences, including floods, droughts, and extreme hurricanes, affecting millions of people. While most climate scientists agree with these findings, not all of them do, but most believe that human activity has significantly contributed to the concentration of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, particularly since the 1970s. Paleoclimatology, Insights into Earth's Climate Shifts. Paleoclimatology, the study of ancient climates, reveals that the Earth's climate oscillates between relatively mild weather periods and snowball periods every 10,000 to 20,000 years and 100,000 years, respectively. Research suggests that routine oscillations of the Earth's orbit that change the distribution of sunlight with latitude may cause periodic ice ages. The burning of fossil fuels has elevated carbon dioxide levels in the atmosphere, leading to ocean acidification, which is now viewed as a major concern. Even minor changes in sunlight distribution can impact the climate significantly, according to paleoclimatologists. Understanding the greenhouse effect. The greenhouse effect is a process in which radiation from the sun is absorbed by certain atmospheric elements like water vapor, carbon dioxide, and methane. These gases then emit infrared radiation, warming the Earth's surface. Clouds also play an important role in this process by reflecting sunlight back into space, cooling the planet. As water vapor increases due to warming, it generates more water vapor in the atmosphere and traps additional heat, which could make the Earth as hot as Venus. Scientists believe that life has preserved the planet's climate by evolving it to its current state. A rise in cyanobacteria brought oxygen into the atmosphere, and since then, life has always had a direct impact on the climate. The tolerably warm conditions we enjoy today are thanks to greenhouse gases and clouds that make up only a small portion of the atmosphere. The author argues that our failure to mitigate away from fossil fuels owes as much to government interference in free markets as to excesses of laissez-faire capitalism. Paleoclimatology uses physical and chemical evidence from the geologic record to deduce changes in the Earth's climate over time. Understanding climate modeling. Climate modeling is a complex process that tries to predict the future status of the climate beyond a certain point. The climate is on some level a chaotic system with natural, chaotic variability. Climate models are subject to variable forcings, which are agents that can change the climate but are not affected by climate itself. Climate scientists argue that human activities are responsible for a portion of current forced climate variability. The current global warming trend is distinguishable from climate noise on time scales of around 30 years and longer. Ice ages are exquisitely sensitive to small perturbations in the distribution of sunlight. The fact that the first decade of the 2000s exhibited no significant global warming is consistent with climate noise and greenhouse gas-induced warming. Nowadays, nearly every climate scientist agrees that society's influence on Earth's climate is distinguishable over the long run from the background noise of natural variability. Those who proclaim that models are wrong or useless are usually taking advantage of science's imperfections to promote their own prejudices. The dual impact of global warming. While global warming may offer some benefits like cheaper heating and higher crop yields, the potential catastrophic consequences cannot be undermined. Rising sea levels could displace about 100 million people from coastal regions, and melting polar ice could lead to floods in low-lying areas like southern Florida and Manhattan. Hurricanes, the most significant natural disasters globally, could become more frequent and severe with ocean warming. Urgent action is required to stem the tide of global warming and prevent the impending disasters. Addressing global warming. The author discusses the consequences of global warming, stating that even if all emissions stopped today, it would take thousands of years to return atmospheric carbon dioxide levels to normal. The author proposes 3 methods to address the issue. Mitigation, which involves curtailing greenhouse gas emissions, offers numerous benefits for consumers and companies. Adaptation involves learning to live with the consequences of global warming, while geoengineering proposes using engineering solutions to the problem. The author notes that it is up to society to decide which method to pursue and that meaningful options fall into these 3 categories. Governments can promote mitigation activities through carbon taxes, cap-and-trade policies, and subsidies for carbon-free energy. The author warns that doing nothing is not an option, and any delay in addressing the issue increases risks to future generations. Climate change and political ideologies. Conservatives reject global warming while liberals oppose nuclear power, hindering progress towards combating climate change. The anti-climate change movement employs misleading tactics by criticizing and misattributing scientific research. Deniers target specific demographics with their disinformation campaigns. The politics surrounding climate change make discussions impossible, and society's leaders must take action on responsible efforts. Catastrophic events may be significantly worse than forecasts, highlighting the need for urgent action.
As the summary of Kerry Emanuel's What We Know About Climate Change reaches its end, the key takeaways emphasize the prevailing scientific agreement that human activity has significantly impacted the concentrations of greenhouse gases in our atmosphere. Facing the undeniable consequences of global warming, such as rising sea levels and severe weather events, society must consider and implement a combination of mitigative, adaptive, and geoengineering solutions to address these imminent challenges. While scientists, engineers, and economists can formulate options, the responsibility ultimately falls on society to decide on and deploy the best combination of strategies to diminish the impact of global warming. Our future, and the future of generations to come, will depend on the decisive action we take today to combat climate change.